You know, say, if I had to pick one signature dish, certainly for South Cumbria, it's got to be Morecambe Bay potted shrimps.
It's such a great product.
Hand-picked Morecambe Bay shrimps are wonderful.
Yeah.
They're the little brown shrimps. We had this idea that you always finish off a risotto with butter, but the shrimps are potted with mace, with butter, salt and pepper. And its most wonderful thing is to float the shrimps into risotto and make a Morecambe Bay shrimp risotto.
What we're going to serve this with is a fennel and orange salad with a harissa dressing. And it's really simple. All I'm doing at the minute is I'm just segmenting an orange.
I have to tell you, it was funny because this salad was one of Si's inventions and I knew it was a special salad. He phoned me up to tell me about his salad with his harissa dressing.
Oh, it's great.
We start off with some butter, so the butter doesn't burn, some oil. I'm going to sweat this onion down. And I'm going to grate a couple of courgettes. The courgettes really add something to it, apart from just colour.
Right, so that's me segmented orange into me bowl with the rocket. Now, the red onion, it's just thin wedges. Not only are you starting to build flavour now, you're also starting to build texture. And that's important in a salad. The mandolin. Now, unfortunately, the fennel is not in the shape where you can use the gourd. So, Kingy is about to do this without the aid of a gourd. And you need to get it as thin as you can.
Now to the onions, I'm going to add my courgettes. Start cooking these down. Then I'm going to grate 2 cloves of garlic.
So your fennel goes in to your bowl. Now at this point, just mix it up a bit.
To the onion, the garlic, courgettes, the zest of a lemon.
So I'm going to start with the dressing now. So microplane if you can, if not, crush your garlic. But just do it straight into the jar that you're going to shake your dressing together in.
Now I'll put the rice into this mixture and just cook for a minute or so until the rice is beautifully coated with the butter and starts to take flavour from the garlic, the onions and the courgettes and lemon.
A little bit of white wine vinegar on top of the garlic. So about 2 tablespoons. Runny honey. About 2 tablespoons. Teaspoon of coriander. And some harissa. There's 2 types of harissa. There's harissa and then there's rose harissa. Rose harissa tends to be slightly lighter, so it's not a massively powerful hit of chilli, but it's more the flavour. So this is rose harissa, is what we're using now.
Now, the little bit that matters, using wine or vermouth. I'm using vermouth. It's traditional to do this with risotto, and the thing is the wine or the alcohol, it kind of softens the rice and you get a better finish, and also it's good for flavour. And we're going to cook this until all the alcohol has boiled away, and again it looks quite dry. Then we start with the stock. Now the secret of good risotto really is to use hot stock. You want this just off the boil, add the stock, a ladle at a time, and keep stirring until the rice is cooked and all the stock's absorbed. I'm using chicken stock for this. You could just as easily use vegetable stock.
Some olive oil. Salt. And a couple of twists of fresh ground black pepper. Give this dressing a really good shake. Taste it. So just on this salad as well, I've got about 25 grams of sultanas here. They're little bombs of sweetness. Now you can use almonds. Here we've got some peanuts, but I'm just going to crush those peanuts down.
It's funny, you know, you look at the back of your risotto rice packet and it says cook for 10 to 15. It always seems to take a lot longer to cook risotto.
It does.
Now this is the little engine room.
Get in.
Pots of potted shrimps. Now obviously we don't need any more butter in the risotto to finish it off because the shrimps are going to do that for us.
And that buttery, shrimpy, oh, what?
This is Morecambe meets Milan, this. Just give that a stir through and let the butter yield to the ricey loveliness.
Oh my goodness me.
And there's a lot of flavour in those shrimps. Now, the Parmesan. And use good Parmesan cheese. You've got mace in the potted shrimps. Mace is like the outside coating of nutmeg. So to me it makes sense just to finish with a bit of nutmeg. Then stir in a few basil leaves. Pour the dressing over the salad, toss slightly together and serve immediately. To me, Morecambe Bay shrimps were always special. I still think they're special. They're not a cheap option, but 3 small pots of potted shrimps in this risotto, it's going to feed 6 people. And look at that. You know, sometimes I think when we do stuff, Si, and you think, we've got this right, haven't we?
That's right.
I don't think it gets much better than this.
Absolutely not. That works so well.
Do you know what? I could eat this till I popped. This is a proper fish cake. It's not loads of spuds with a fishy flavour.
No, it's not. It's good. It's a good balance, this. So I'm going to start a mash, David.
We're going to poach this salmon beautifully, a little court bouillon, and flake some hot smoked salmon to give it a nice savoury kind of umami thing. So first off, I've got some milk in this pan. I'll put a bay leaf in. Some peppercorns, just to flavour it a little bit. And let's have some dill stalks in this as well.
Go on, why not?
But to go with this, we're going to make some homemade tartar sauce, but it's a dill tartar sauce. You know, I think it's just that little bit nicer.
Oh, it's lovely. It's a lovely recipe, this. And it's quite simple, as you'll see.
Just float the salmon in there, pop the lid on, and give it about 5 minutes.
Top tip when you're using a ricer, don't overfill it.
Do you remember once we passed the potato through it twice? Yeah. We thought we'd get it finer and finer.
Doesn't.
No, we released all sorts of gluten and we created edible wallpaper paste. This is hot smoked salmon. Lovely flaked on a salad, but it can be quite salty, which is why we'll taste the mixture before we do it and just kind of flake it up a bit. I'll pop that in there. You know, people often ask, where did you two meet? But we met in a pub.
We did. It was brilliant.
We were both working on a Catherine Cookson drama, and we were crew. And you were in your 20s, I was in my late 20s. And I saw this tall, old hippie standing by the pool table, and everybody was there. It was like, you know, they're all television people for lunch and that. And they said, oh, I just have the spritzer and the, you know, like vegetable sandwich. And he said, Julian, what's the curry? I'll have that and an arm bread and a pint of this. And I just said, well, I'll have what he's having. So then joined in the pool and been friends ever since.
That was it. I'm going to use my hands for this. Just give it a little mix while we wait for the...
Yeah, not too far off. Oh, that's all right. Beautiful. So just flake that. So let's get this skin off. Put that in. This is quite a lot of fish, which is what we want.
Wash your hands and then get stuck in, because you need to get this.
Is it hot, that salmon?
Evenly distributed. It's quite hot, but not too bad. Chill in the freezer for 10 minutes if possible, just to firm up before you start the process of coating them.
So what we could do...
What, mate?
We could make the dill tartar sauce while we're waiting. Do you want to man the beast?
I'll man the beast.
Right. We start off the process with an egg yolk.
The dexterity of it.
I know. The egg yolk goes in.
Perfect. A little bit of salt, pinch of salt.
And a teaspoon
of Dijon mustard.
A little bit of oil just to get it going.
Well, I think we'll give that a zip-de-doo-dah first.
Right, because it's all about emulsification across the nation.
And then...
Just a tiny drip.
Tiny drip, mate, that'll be lush.
The trick to making mayonnaise, or indeed tartar sauce, is this endless, relentless, gentle stream of oil.
Yeah, once it starts to grip, you're off, innit?
I think that's it. It's starting to turn in on itself, isn't it?
Perfect.
Perfect.
I will chop some cornichons.
I will chop some capers. So what about 4 tablespoons of chopped cornichons, 3 tablespoons of chopped capers. So we put all that in. There's 2 tablespoons there.
The cornichons. Let me just get...
We'll chop some chives.
Oh, lovely. Now, that's what I call tartar sauce.
That is tartar sauce.
Thank you, man. Oh, that's perfect, dude. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Well, we'll just put this in the fridge and it'll be ta-ta, see you later. Fish cakes.
Yes.
The time has come.
It certainly has.
Got some flour. And this is what everybody calls panning, which basically means put it in crumbs. We're using panko bread crumbs, you know, like the Japanese ones. Do you know, in a funny sort of way, I quite like those orange bread crumbs that my mum used to use.
Yes.
They're not right, but do you know what I mean? They're ornamental.
So, to form your fish cakes, just take some of the mixture and then just push it together in your hands.
Get some heat. And we want the fish cakes to be golden. And the trick to that is to put some butter in with the oil.
Pat them out. Nice and gently.
So we dip it in flour, in egg, sure it's nicely coated, and then in the crumbs, and really dredge it. And just float it into the oil and butter and repeat. If some children are a bit odd about fish, somehow they don't see fish cakes as being fishy.
Yeah, they don't see them as intimidating at all, do they?
Nah.
It's an easy eat, that's why, and that's a good thing, you know. That's why you want to get your kids into eating fish cakes, because eventually their palate will develop for the taste of fish. And we're an island race, and we should be eating more of it.
Let's make it generous, you know, so that sort of pub, the sort of pub that's got that bearded, jolly landlord that's full of bonhomie and you get good portions.
Absolutely.
Aye. That is our salmon fish cakes, super pub style, with homemade dill tartar sauce.
Come on. What's not to love?
So, Simon.
Yes, David.
What can we do? Take 2 humble ingredients and make them as posh as possible.
We're cooking fish and chips.
Yeah, but it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, you see.
A few humble ingredients, salmon from the supermarket, potatoes. OK, we've got a few extra tricks up our sleeve. We're going to do a confit salmon with Pommes Noisettes, samphire and sea purslane. But first, we're going to cure the salmon, which is like a rub, a marinade, and it's going to be in there for half an hour before we start to confit the fish.
And I'm going to do Pommes Noisettes. Now, they're a favourite thing, and basically you take a melon bowler and you try and get a perfect ball out of said potato.
First off, goes great with salmon, a splash of gin, about a tablespoon-ish. The zest of a lemon. The other thing that goes with gin is juniper. So, I've got some juniper berries. How are you getting on there, son?
Well, yeah.
Just take a few juniper berries, crack them, and scatter those over your salmon. a teaspoon of salt. This will draw moisture out of the salmon. And lastly, a tablespoon of olive oil. I think the moment has come to put my hands in here and just work into both sides of the fish. This is preparing that said salmon for its oily bath. I love posh food. Now, I need a litre of oil, but basically I need enough oil in this pan for those salmon to be able to bathe, just to be covered. Now, this has to be 55 degrees Celsius. The thing about being a confit, it has to be 55 when it goes in, and we keep it between 45 and 55 for about 20 minutes. It's that precise. Put it there, not on the bottom of the pan, that's going to give you a false reading.
That's actually quite critical, this, isn't it?
It is very critical. 44. 55! Now turn the gas off, right? And just float the salmon in.
Float.
To the hot oil. Oh, I've got a bit hot. What I'll do is I'll just cool it down with a bit more oil, because these salmon pieces must be covered. Now you can use this oil again, but bear in mind, everything will taste fishy. 50, that's nicely, that's cooling down. Slowing down, 55. 53, 54, perfect. Beautiful.
Dave, how would you describe confit? What would you say?
Confit, well, it's a French technique normally used for cooking duck thighs and legs. Because basically, duck thigh and legs can be a tough old beast, but when it's confit, you put it in hot duck fat for about kind of 5 or 6 hours, and really the meat gets so soft and tender. Confit duck's great. And as it's confit and it's changing colour a little bit, this is the action of hot oil on fish.
I'm going to just blanch our lovely Pommes noisettes off and literally just pop them in for a minute, strain them, and then the good bit.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm in my lab. You know, I am Professor Fish.
OK, so they've been blanched for a minute, and literally they only take a minute.
Holding at 45, I'll just give it a quick burst of heat, and that'll see us for the next 5 minutes.
Well, look, if that's the case then, and you're going to do that, should I get on with the noisettes?
Yeah,
right.
Perfect. Literally, I just want to take it up another 2 degrees.
So, with the noisettes, what we're going to use is some clarified butter, because it's the real traditional way to cook noisettes, because they go a beautiful golden colour.
It doesn't burn, does it?
It doesn't burn, no. Drop one of these in. Perfect.
It's like a pan full of muscat balls, isn't it?
Oh, it's superb, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's us, I think. Dave?
Well, the confit's nearly there. And more or less at blood heat this. It's one of those dishes that's best served tepid. And the fish is wonderful and firm. You know, it's confit. Just blot the oil off the top a little bit. Oh, it's just got such a nice bounce to it. They're going lovely, mate. I'll put the samphire on.
Yeah.
Some butter in there. This just needs warming through, just so. And some lemon.
I reckon I've got 30 seconds left on these. They're lovely, beautifully golden, aren't they?
Shall I start to plate up?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I think I'll start off with a little bed of the samphire and sea purslane. And I'll take confit salmon. It's so delicate now in the middle.
Just as they come out, because they're warm, we'll just very finely chop parsley, sea salt flakes, and then we're just going to shimmy them. Brings out the gentleman in us, David, this sort of...
It does. I think the thing is, because you focus so much on getting it perfect, I don't know, the anticipation to eat it's really quite exciting.
It is.
My noisettes on there, tumbling. Simon?
Yes, David.
Our confit salmon with noisette potatoes, sea purslane and samphire.
Posh fish, chips and mushy peas.
Aye.
Boom.
Boom. That to me says Northumberland, Kingy.
Yes, yes.
Because some of the best cold water fish, I think, in the UK comes from the North Sea. We thought, we'll do a John Dory.
Yeah. And then we thought, maybe we might do a turbot.
Then we saw this brill. Look at that.
How beautiful.
We've got a few bits and pieces to do. We've got the most wonderful langoustines and mussels and the fish, and they're going to be steamed, which is like the purest form of cooking.
The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to give our beautiful brill a bit of a haircut. So, it's just... take that off. Like that. And then the same on the other side. This is a celebration of what you have locally.
Yeah.
What I love about brill, Dave, and I know you do too, the flesh of the brill is quite compact and solid and it flakes beautifully. And also, it just imparts this wonderful, wonderful flavour.
I'm just going to make like the steaming vessel now. So I'm making sure that I've got enough to wrap around because we want to create some vapour for the fish. I put some oil sugar on this first side.
Yes, please, mate.
So some oil on here, a little knob of butter,
beautiful.
a couple there. We put a couple of bits of garlic.
There's some zest, mate.
So we've got like the strip of lemon peel, so we get the aroma, but you're not actually eating the lemon. Look at this. Gosh, there's some meat on that. I put some garlic just in its inside.
And there's some more zest, mate.
And some salt in here, and some lemon zest. Bits of garlic.
And now the steaming liquor.
They can use white wine, water, or vermouth. Vermouth it's lovely.
So you want about 100 mils of this. I'm just pouring it around the sides because I don't want to take any of the seasoning that Dave's put on.
And it's almost cooking this wonderful, kind of nice, boozy steam.
That's about there, mate. Do you reckon?
And just gather your foil up. We want to do what you call a tent. So we want the steam to be able to circulate around the fish, which it will do. Yeah, so we need to put this in now for 15 minutes for a fish of that thickness.
Oven's been preheated to 200 degrees.
So it's quite a fierce oven, but we want the steam. There we go.
Beautiful.
Now, we'll time this. Again, what do we serve this with? Well, you don't want to detract from the quality. You want to focus your head on the langoustines, mussels and the fish. So I'm going to do some game chips. You know, just posh crisps on the side. Basically, the first one's sacrificial, and then you turn it 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And look, we get these lovely perforated crisps.
And I'm going to do an aioli, which fundamentally is really a garlicky mayonnaise. In a bowl, take 2 egg yolks. Just to start the emulsification, we're going to put a little bit of lemon juice in, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard in, a little bit of salt. I'll give these a whisk.
It's only when you start to make crisps or game chips you realise what a lot of crisps you get out of one potato. The game chips were deep fried at 190 degrees Celsius until crisp and golden.
Now, a key ingredient with aioli is garlic. So I'm going to put one lovely fat clove in. And you whisk it until the egg yolks change colour and they go slightly light. And then from that point, you start to add your sunflower oil. Just in a little dribble every now and then. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil just for flavour. And then the saffron. Get in again. Little touch of lemon juice. And I think, mate, just have a taste of that and see if we're there.
Oh, wow. That's superb.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be the richest thing on the plate, but I think, you know, you leave that to people, how much they want to enrich.
Absolutely.
You forget, like, you know, little garnishes like this add such a lot to a dish, and they really are supporting players to that gorgeous fish.
Right, mate, I'm going to take this brill out.
I've got my last batch on.
So, At this point, oh yeah, mate, come and have a look at this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh,
we can put our langies on,
yeah,
can't we? Now,
put the langies and mussels in. And,
that's an event, isn't it?
absolutely. For people that are frightened of cooking fish, this is a great way to do it because look, it's simple. How beautiful is that? Now, more butter. And then I'm going to seal her up again. Five more minutes, mate.
I think we've got enough game chips here.
Yes. Right.
Bit of a tidy up, eh?
Yeah. Wait for the main event, eh?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Now, this is a bundle of joy.
I'm so excited. Oh, look at that.
See, Mr. Fish. There you go. Oh, come on, Si. At least let's get it on a plate.
Right. There we have it. Brill with mussels and langoustine from the cold waters around the UK.
It's completely Brill.
Yeah.
Drop of white wine?
Oh, absolutely. Langoustine. Yeah.
Look at that. When people say about opalescent, white, flaky fish, that's what you want. Plain. It's the best, Si. It really is. Because the pure way we've cooked it, it ticks all the boxes. It's moist, it's tasty, it's lovely.
It's one of those occasions in cooking where you just let the ingredients speak for themselves because they're of such a high quality.
Cheers. Here's to Northumberland.
Here's to Northumberland. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Do you know what I love? I love a fish pie.
This, though,
This is different, this fish pie.
this is our cosy fish pie. We want the fish pie that makes your lips stick together, and we've changed the topping.
We're going to use root veg, celeriac and parsnips.
It's an embrace of a dish. Now, much as my mother would do, I start off by poaching the fish. And we're going to use the poaching liquor to make an infused sauce. So we have some milk, and we infuse with onion. Now, poaching is just at that point where it starts to go... And that's poaching. It's slow and low. Whereas boiling, which is... We don't want that.
No. You know when parsnips come into season, your mum used to always say, they're only good after the first frost. It's true.
Yep, because the frost releases natural sugars, so your parsnips are in fact sweeter. Into the milk, 2 bay leaves and a couple of cloves.
They're ugly things, celeriac, aren't they? Beautiful, though.
Do you remember that time you put some tights on your head?
Yeah.
You look just like celeriac.
I did.
Everything goes like that. For the fish, you can use whatever you want, but this is perfect. Got the salmon with a touch of luxury, cod, which is the engine room of it, and the smoked haddock. Just gives it that smoky flavour.
I always feel a sense of anticipation with a fish pie. It's that, I can't wait to eat it. I love it.
And we'll just leave it there until the fish starts to flake away.
Leave to simmer for about 2 minutes, then remove from the heat and leave covered to steam for a further 5 minutes.
Now that fish is just about perfect. As you can see, the fish is just cooked through.
The smell, man.
Yeah. Oh, look at that salmon.
Drain the fish and reserve the cooking liquor.
Next, make the mash. Put the celeriac and parsnips in a steamer and cook for around 15 to 20 minutes until just tender.
Now, I've got a bowl, I've got a sieve, and I've got a ricer.
Mash, draining off any excess water when you first press down. That looks pretty dry, actually.
It does. It's actually not bad, Dave, to be fair.
You can do this in a colander over a pan if you want and press it down with a wooden spoon. This will make sure your mash isn't too liquid. Time now to make the Michel. The Michel roux. Do you get it? So a nice big block of butter. This fish pie will feed 8 people, so don't be horrified at the amount of butter. Now, when the butter has melted, we can stir in the flour, and you want to kind of cook the flour a little bit, because basically it just takes away the floury taste. Now, let's get saucy. Just start adding the stock. I'm going to add about half a glass of white wine. Keith Floyd always used to say, never cook with wine that you wouldn't drink. Now, we're going to put some dill in this. But, you know, to carry that kind of aniseed flavour, the fennelly flavour that goes so well, I'm going to put in some pastis. Use pastis or ouzo. Not much, about 3 teaspoons, because we want it to taste kind of nicely aniseedy.
Stir in the dill. I'm just going to put some butter in the root mash. Oh, beautiful. Some salt and pepper.
What do you think, Si?
Oh, mate, that's perfect, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The pastis really does something. It just takes the dill, just gives it an extra kick. Let's make pie. To assemble, pour half the sauce over the base of a large pie dish. Add the fish, removing any skin or bones, but trying to keep some of the big pieces really quite large. Salmon is the most wonderful fish, and I think we take it for granted these days.
Can you remember? It was really special to have salmon because it wasn't farmed as intensely as it is now.
No, salmon came in tins, didn't it?
It did.
Now, it's kind of quite traditional in a fish pie to cover the top with a layer of hard-boiled eggs. I like them. Si likes them. If you don't like them, leave your eggs off.
It's so generous, this fish pie. That's what I love about it. It's great.
Yeah. People say, like, how do you write recipes? How do you do stuff? Well, you just constantly improve, you refine, and you change the recipes. And, you know, you have fun with it, and you just get better. I think this is belter.
Beautiful.
This is a brilliant dish for when you want a gentle evening in. You know, when it's raining outside, you're feeling a bit under the weather. It's that grey, drizzly weather.
Oh. Spread the mash over the sauce, then fork up the surface to create a rough texture.
It is a whopper of a pie. This is going to boil over, but that's part of the charm. We want a bit of sizzle. We're not finished yet.
Oh, no!
The cheese with the root vegetables is epic. Think cauliflower cheese. We're not that far left of field with this, are we?
Absolutely not. Adding in layers and layers and layers of flavour. But they're all gentle, they're all warm, they're all cosy.
Yeah, this one, it's big enough to give the whole family and a few friends a hug.
I'm going to pop that in the oven, Mr. Myers.
Pop away, Horatio.
170?
Yeah, about 3/4 of an hour until it's bubbling, heated through and golden. Just serve with your greens of choice, I would say.
Oh, yes, indeed.
We were right to put the tray underneath.
Defo. Look at that.
Oh, the smell.
I am so looking forward to this. Oh, mate.
It's not watery, it's not dry, it's just
right.
So.
Oh, that is great.
It is great. It's so different with that root veg top. It's sweet.
Warm, gentle.
I think the cosy fish pie is the one for me. And of course, If you don't want to use root veg, just use mash on the top. Do you know what we forgot?
What?
We forgot the peas. You can't have fish pie without peas.
Oh, flipping no, I'll go and get them on.
All right, I'll just check this is all right.